What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close and we are now 235. Yes, you heard me right. 235 subs away from hitting 500 subs, and who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Only time will tell, but as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Blue Eyes, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. Excuse me. Excuse me. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners over at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But with that being said, if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because now less than 70% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. And to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this: what deck are you guys going to be playing when Rage of the Abyss gets released in the next several weeks? Let me know down in the comments below. And for today's video, it seems as if we are going to be talking about the supposed last batch of cards that will be in Rage of the Abyss. This is actually the first time in a couple of months that I am bringing up Rage of the Abyss. In fact, we are actually revealing some brand new Mimighoul cards that will be released in the set, and apparently supposedly, excuse me, and supposedly this is going to be the new meta. This is going to be the next tier 1, tier 0 deck that will be in the upcoming format post ban list, which ironically enough, the OCG got their ban list, and I was gonna talk about it in today's video, but with these new cards coming out, I think I'll talk about the ban list in tomorrow's video. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. But the Mimighoul archetype is a bit of a weird one, because obviously the idea of the deck of the archetype is to completely just like troll the living fuck out of your opponent and just force them to scoop, like make them rage quit. That's like the apparent idea, but it's gonna be interesting because there's only, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards to talk about in this video. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna get straight into it. Kicking things off, we've got Mimighoul armor. And again, I don't think I've ever talked to. I don't think I got the chance to talk about these cards on the channel. So this is probably gonna be the only chance I'm going to. But there's armor, and it's a 1-star Earth Warrior flip with 600 attack, 1500 defense, and the flip effect reads as follows: If it is the main phase, apply these effects in sequence. This turn, Mimighoul monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Give control of this card to your opponent during your main phase. You can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in face down defense, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card face up on your field. You can only use each effect once per turn. So again, it's as I said, the idea is to just completely troll your opponent and just like say, hey, just say, hey, guess what? I'm gonna troll you. I don't care about you. Fuck you. Fuck your deck. I'm gonna troll you and make you rage quit. That is literally the idea of this art of these new cards. But at least all of your Mimighoul monsters can't be destroyed in battle. So if it gets flipped face up, it basically acts as like a shield, if you will, for the entire turn, which is pretty cool. Next up, we've got Mimighoul Fairy. Oh wait, there we go. Much better. And it is a 1-star Earth Fairy flip. With a measly 100 attack and defense, and the effect reads as follows: Flip. If it's the main phase, apply these effects. This turn, you cannot activate the effects of monsters special summon from your hand. Give control of this card to your opponent during your main phase. You can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field and face down defense. Or if you control a Mimighoul monster, you can special summon this card face up on your field. You can only use each effect once per turn. So I believe the second part of the flip effects for all three remain the same, but the first one is completely different. So to recap, armor acts as a shield. Fairy prevents you from activating the effects of monsters that were special summoned from your hand. And this next one, and this next one, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, is actually rather interesting, I guess, if you will. So the name of this card is known as Mimighoul Slime. Which is a 1-star Earth Aqua flip with 400 attack, 500 defense. The effect reads as follows: Flip. If it's the main phase, apply these effects in sequence. Obviously, the second effect remains the same, but the first one is different. Your opponent can special summon one Mimighoul monster from their deck to their field. Again, this is trolling. Because if you're going up against a deck that doesn't have Mimighoul monsters, then you're just trolling them. That's all it is, which is pretty crazy. Next up, we've got Giant Mimighoul. Which is a rank 1 Earth Rock Xyz with 1300 attack, 2000 defense, and it requires 2 level 1 monsters. And the effects read as follows: Your non-Xyz Mimighoul monsters can attack directly while your opponent controls a face down monster. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is Exceed Summon, you can add one Mimighoul card from your deck to your hand. You can detach one material from this card. Target face-up cards on the field up to the number of face-down monsters your opponent controls. Destroy them. If you do, inflicts 1,000 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. So basically, if your opponent has 8 cards face down and you pop them, that's basically GG's. That is basically GG's. So in a way, this card is kind of like your FTK combo, where if your opponent does end up setting monsters, which by the standards of 2024, 2025, and there aren't a whole lot of decks that use monsters that use flip effects. I think by the standards of 2024, 2025, the only cards that I could see being used are cards like maybe Morphing Jar and like maybe excuse me. I guess maybe like Morphing Jar, like maybe Stealth Bird if you're playing Burn. So I think that's like the only thing that's like the only thing I could think of at this point. But still, it's pretty crazy. Still, it's pretty weird. All right, next up we've got Mimighoul Throne, which is a rank 1 Earth Rock Exceeds with 0 attack and 1,000 defense, and requires 2 level 1 Mimighoul monsters. And the effects read as follows. You can detach one material from this card, special summon one Mimighoul Master from your hand, deck, or grave during the main phase. As a quick effect, you can target a Mimighoul Master you control, equip this card to it as an equipped spell that gives it 1,000 attack. Then you can return cards from the field to the hand up to the number of materials this card had. You can only use one Mimighoul Throne effect per turn and only once that turn. So obviously all these effects are a hard once per turn. Which obviously you guys know, any card that has a hard once per turn effect, usually those are the cards that get a little bit tricky to use. Especially this one. This one is a bit tricky because obviously you're gonna end up detaching a material off of this card to summon Master, but it's as I said, with so many of these different archetypes, these different newer archetypes that have a bunch of Exceeds monsters, cards like Overlay Regen, Exceeds Import, all those cards and then some are going to end up becoming very, very playable in these types of decks. And so once you have summoned Master, then you basically get to target Master, equip Throne to it, which will give Master 1,000 attack. And since you used, let's say, Overlay Regen plus Exceed Import on your Throne, you basically get to bounce 3 cards from the board back to the opponent's hand because of the fact that he had 3 materials on Throne, which is pretty cool. But that's just theoretically speaking. But yeah, this is just pretty much a troll deck. This is like legit troll. Like, hands, I don't even know what to say anymore. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got Mimighoul Fork. Literally, it says fork, which is hilarious. Very, very hilarious. And it is a normal spell with the effects being once per turn. And the first one reads, target one face down monster your opponent controls Your opponent chooses one of the following effects and you apply that effect. Change it to face-up attack or defense position, send it to the grave, then its owner draws 2 cards. Second effect reads, you can banish this card from your grave, add 1 Mimighoul fork from your deck to your hand. And again, both effects are once per turn. So I find it interesting that that you basically run 3 of these, and if your opponent actually has your own Mimighoul monster, or like any of your monsters that's face down, basically you're the one that if they allow it to, you're the one that's gonna be drawing 2 cards, not them. So in a way, this is kind of like a pot of greed for you, which is really cool. But at the same time, if it's your opponent that owns it, and it gets sent into their graveyard, then they're the ones that are gonna get 2 cards. So in a way, it's kind of like a cup of ace, in a way, mixed in with like a Book of Tayu, I guess, if you will, which is pretty weird, but still really cool. Now for the last card in today's video, and it is known as Mimighoul Charm, which I'm assuming is probably going to be the secret rare of the set, judging by the silver lettering. And it is a continuous spell with the effects being once per turn. And it reads, once per chain during the main phase, if a Mimighoul monster your opponent controls is flipped face up, you can randomly choose one face down card in your opponent's extra deck, and if it's a monster that can be special summoned it to your field, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. If it wasn't or couldn't be special summoned, banish that card. So this is actually kind of funny. Because if you're going up against heroes, and the top deck and the top card of your opponent's extra deck is, like, let's say Dark Law, which could potentially be a Dark Law, then because the mass heroes can only be special summoned through the means of mass change and mass change 2, Dark Law is just gonna get banished. But if you end up with a card with a card like, say, excuse me, with a card like, say, Brave Neos or something like that, somewhere along those lines, then yeah, obviously you will be able to special summon it, which is actually kind of funny. But I will say these new cards are definitely gonna make the Mimighoul archetype even more dangerous, just because of the fact that they're trolls. They're just trolls. They're troll cards, and they will make your opponent scoop. Plain and simple. But my thoughts on them, they're really weird. It's a really weird archetype, but I can't wait to see these cards get played. I think at the next YCS, which I believe the YCS for this set, I believe, is going to be if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be the team YCS in Santiago, Chile, or it's gonna be probably sometime between the YCS, the team YCS in Santiago, Chile this coming weekend, the YCS in Cancun, excuse me, and then the YCS in Niagara Falls. So it's one or the other. I actually want to check something out. I want to check something out. Rage of the Abyss. Here we are. In October 2024. So we know it's gonna be October. Here we are. Wikipedia. Let's see. The release date is October 11th. So that means October 11th. So okay, so since Rage of the Abyss will be released on October 11th in North America, that means between the YCS in Niagara Falls and the YCS this coming December in in Anaheim is when we're gonna be seeing these cards get played at some point, which is gonna be possible, but we will have to wait and see. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.